Xin chào and welcome to ASEAN Today. I'm Minh of VTC10 Net Viet in Hanoi.
And I'm Dalton Tanonaka of the Indonesia channel at the ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta, and this is your window into the dynamic Southeast Asia region. ASEAN is wrestling with the problem of refugees, mobilizing support for the migrants crossing the Indian Ocean. And at a May 29th meeting in Bangkok, a representative from Myanmar was critical of those placing blame on his country. 17 countries, including the United States and Japan, along with officials from international organizations, joined the talks. More than 3,000 Rohingyas and Bangladeshis have reached the shores of Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand to escape persecution in western Myanmar.
The influx of irregular migrants in the Indian Ocean has reached an alarming level. Sadly, we have witnessed desperate migrants leaving their homes and risking their life. The situation has affected various countries in the region. No country can solve this problem alone.
Several thousand more are believed to still be at sea after human traffickers abandoned boats when a regional crackdown began. We hear from all sides in our Hot Seat segment. Tragedy on Malaysia's tallest mountain. A 5.9 magnitude earthquake shook Mount Kinabalu on June 5th, sending an avalanche of rocks and dirt down its slopes. The mountain is popular as a trekking destination, and killed in the natural disaster were 18 people, the majority from Singapore. The earthquake, one of the strongest in decades. In a separate issue, more than 500 Myanmar fishermen arrived back in their home country after years of forced labor on fishing vessels in Indonesia. The first group arrived on May 9th, followed by others on 5 separate flights over the next couple of weeks. Their situation was exposed by an Associated Press investigation. The men are from countries including Myanmar, Cambodia, and Thailand, and described severe abuse while catching fish for markets across Asia. They were held on the remote Indonesian island village of Benjina. Authorities are pursuing criminal charges against those responsible.
Thailand's former Prime Minister entered a not guilty plea at her first Supreme Court hearing on May 19th. Yingluck Shinawatra faces charges of negligence over a rice buying program that prosecutors say cost the country nearly $4.5 billion. She faces 10 years in prison if found guilty. The sister of another former prime minister posted bail of $900,000 and was ordered not to leave Thailand during the trial. The next hearing is set for July 21st.
Malaysia and China co-chaired an event preparing the region for emergency response calls. 5,000 participants took part in the ASEAN Regional Forum disaster relief exercises from May 24th to the 29th. This joint exercise involved simulations held in North Malaysia. The ARF, founded in 1994, and now includes 27 countries, including the 10 ASEAN member states and their dialogue partners.
Vietnam commemorated 125th birthday of former President Ho Chi Minh. Leaders from throughout the country came to the May 18th event at the Hanoi National Convention Center. Central Committee Representative Nguyễn Phú Trọng paid tribute to President Ho's contributions toward Vietnam's national liberation and construction. The celebration included art and photo exhibitions. The Secretary General of the United Nations paid a 2-day visit to this country. Ban Ki-moon reaffirmed UN support for Vietnam's socio-economic development when he arrived here in Hanoi on May 22nd. Ban also called for a peaceful solution to the territorial dispute with China in what the Vietnamese call the East Sea.
Chinese visitors to Singapore can now have a longer stay on one visa stamp. The change came on June 1st, extending Chinese visa validity to up to 10 years. Spouses and children under the age of 21 can also be granted the same durations. The cost remains the same. Other countries such as Canada, the US, South Korea, and Japan have made similar moves with Chinese visas over the past 2 years. Now, back to Myanmar, where rising housing prices are presenting a problem for local renters and buyers. ASEAN Today's Prisma Kinanti reports.
Myanmar's housing market has been booming since the country launched widespread economic and political reforms in 2011. Home rental costs in Myanmar tripled over the past 4 years, rising beyond those in many developed countries. At present, houses in downtown Myanmar are priced around 707,000 kyats or $650 per square meter, while rents at international standard office buildings are approximately 880,000 kyats or around $809 per square meter. But property sales have been low since the beginning of this year. At a recent housing promotion fair, around 30 companies offered discounts and promotions, marking the first time that prices had fallen and sales had stagnated in the past 4 years. Though prices have fallen for the first time, housing is still unaffordable for ordinary people. With the generally low purchasing power of Burmese people, there's definitely enough room for outside investors. Real estate remains the sixth largest sector for foreign investment in Myanmar at $2.27 billion, accounting for 4.21% of the total of $54,086 billion as of February 2015. At the beginning of Myanmar's reform and opening up, a number of local and overseas funded companies chose to develop properties because of the huge potential and high profits in real estate industry. But without a condominium law in force, some closed down due to weak purchasing power and banks' limitations on housing loans, while many building projects are unfinished. The housing market has slowed down with increased investment risks. Prisma Kinanti for ASEAN Today.
More ASEAN Today is coming up shortly.
Taking responsibility for the Rohingya crisis, we hear from leaders on what must be done in this global problem. That's just ahead. You are watching ASEAN Today. I'm Ngan in Hanoi.
And I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta. ASEAN states and other countries are reaching the same conclusion, that all must provide humanitarian help in the Rohingya refugee crisis while working to solve the source of the problem. Global leaders have been in the hot seat.
So now this has become a serious humanitarian and the security crisis, and the international community, I think they are working. Many are in the sea now, so we have to save their life for the time being, and then we have to address the root causes also. So basically it is a transnational organized crime. So many of them are part of this crime, so that is the situation. They are the criminals, they are the traffickers, it doesn't matter which nationalities they are from. So this is all of our duties to find all of them and brought them under the law.
Saat ini UNHCR memiliki mandat yang sangat spesifik dalam arti kami memberikan perlindungan kepada pengungsi. Ya. Jadi kami di sini nomor satu memastikan bahwa kebutuhan mereka yang paling urgent tercukupi. Yang kedua, kemudian kami akan melakukan identifikasi akan kebutuhan mereka terhadap perlindungan internasional. Jadi apabila memang teridentifikasi mereka membutuhkan perlindungan internasional, selanjutnya kami akan membantu pemerintah Indonesia untuk melakukan registrasi.
So, the situation now requires a regional solution. It's no longer possible to say that this is any one country's responsibility, but Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia need to come together. They need to have their navies go out and find these boats and rescue these people, and they need to also push very hard on the Burmese government to end the rights abusive policies that are sending the Rohingya into the oceans to start with.
ประเทศไทยไม่ผลักดันใครทั้งหมดนะครับต้องเป็นความต้องการของเขาในการที่จะทำอย่าถามเรื่องผลักดันไม่ได้ผมไม่ได้ผลักดันเราไม่ผลักดันใครทั้งนั้นเรื่องสิทธิมนุษยชนต้องเป็นเรื่องใหญ่ เรื่องที่มีความสำคัญที่จะต้องดูแล
Understanding these are the concerns about the international community on the people in the sea and the people, some people arriving to some of the ASEAN member countries. Not these people, they are also claiming, some of them, they said they are coming from Myanmar, some of them said they are coming from Bangladesh. Our position is very clear. The first, we have to start the verification process to determine the status of these people. If they are coming from Myanmar and they have enough evidence to prove that, Myanmar were ready to bring our people. We already did in the Indonesia and Malaysia.
Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand call upon the international community to uphold their responsibility and urgently share the burden of providing the necessary support to Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand in addressing the problem.
It's extremely good news coming out of Malaysia. It means that people will be able to get to shore. That we've been asking for so many days. We've been trying to encourage the governments to let people disembark safely and to give them the medical life-saving aid that they need. So now, when they land, we know that we will be able to treat them on shore. The problem is that so far there's no agreement on search and rescue, and these boats have got to be found. There's a huge body of water and only a small number of boats, and the more time that goes on without good search and rescue, the more desperate the conditions are going to become.
Energy efficiency and sustainability. It's important to save human lives. Whatever the reasons may be, when they are out onto sea, their life is endangered. Therefore, I have been urging all the leaders in the region to first of all, search and rescue, and provide the life-saving assistance, humanitarian assistance, and discuss how they could settle this matter, resettlement, reintegration.
Komunitas internasional termasuk PBB menyiapkan format strategis jangka panjang untuk menangani potensi terjadinya pengungsi di sangat banyak negara. Jadi ini memang kita harus mengajak komunitas internasional bersama-sama mencari format strategis jangka panjangnya supaya mereka sebagai warga dunia ada perlindungan mereka.
Myanmar says many of the migrants are not escaping persecution, but seeking jobs in countries wanting cheap labor. More ASEAN Today is coming up shortly.
We've been head to the Philippines, where those with autism find comfort and jobs at a popular cafe. And then here to Hanoi, where beasts of burden get a chance to play for pay. This is ASEAN Today.
And we are coming to you this month from Hanoi and Jakarta. Providing life experience and jobs for those with autism is the mission of a cafe in the Philippines. As ASEAN Today's Andita Winda tells us, everyone's a winner in the process.
Puzzle Cafe is an autism-friendly cafe that opened last November but was officially launched in April this year to mark Autism Awareness Month. It's located in Manila suburb of Quezon City.
My name is Jose and this is my cafe.
Jose Canoy was diagnosed with autism when he was 4 years old. This cafe was set up by Canoy's family to help him become productive and secure his future. They also wanted to create employment and increase the self-confidence of young people with the condition and other disabilities. The puzzle piece is a global symbol of autism.
We'd like to think puzzles are like a very good analogy to autism, because when you actually put pieces together, it makes much more sense. So that's what we want to instill to people, no? When we show certain pieces to them, that they may impart their own piece to the puzzle, so that people may understand the whole concept that is autism and people with disabilities.
Puzzle Cafe is currently training 7 people with autism and 2 with Down syndrome, mostly in their early 20s. With cue cards, a therapist guides them step by step on how to greet customers, offer the menu, serve the food, and handle the bill. They're initially given the simple tasks of taking orders and clearing tables, but some have also been trained to do kitchen duties.
I'm looking forward to work well with other people because it's all that matters.
There are several establishments in the country that employ people with autism, but Puzzle Cafe offers a unique approach to their workers.
They have leveraged on autism advocacy as a main strategy in their, go-to-market, so to speak. And what's great about it is the fact that they're very open about this family, this cafe, supporting autism acceptance and inclusion. It creates a buzz. It creates a template for other small businesses and other large businesses, I think, to follow.
Autism spectrum disorders are complex brain development disorders characterized by difficulties in social interaction and communication and a restricted and repetitive set of interests and activities.
It is important and beneficial to them because it provides them the opportunity to further develop their skills in social interaction. So it's a continuing process, it's a continuing growth for them. We don't stop at now that you know how to interact with your classmates, that's the end. Of course not, no? We take them from the home to the therapy to the school to the wider community because the aim is full assimilation or to assimilation to the degree that is most possible for that particular individual.
The Puzzle Cafe made autism friendliness a selling point in its business strategy.
May security in a way na kahit papano, I know some people na nagdi-deal din ng gano'n na, diba, yung halimbawa may mga struggle sila, siguro I can ask yung people dito, how they go about it.
The sign on the cafe's door, "We're A-OK," shows that families can go and talk to others who also live with autism without worrying about getting stares or disturbing other people. Andita Winda for ASEAN Today.
Here are several events on the ASEAN calendar. The Nha Trang Khánh Hòa Sea Festival will be held from July 11 to 14 in Nha Trang City, here in Vietnam. The 24th King's Cup Pattaya Marathon is set to run on July 19 in Pattaya, Thailand. And the Danish pop rock band Michael Learns to Rock will perform at Singapore's Star Theatre on July 24th. A national competition brought thousands of people and animals to Hanoi. The objects of everyone's attention was water buffaloes. ASEAN Today Robalyn Prutbar explains this tradition.
Thousands of spectators recently gathered at a stadium in Vietnam's capital for a buffalo fighting festival. Water buffalo fighting is a tradition that's associated with different legends in Vietnam. It's one of the most popular events in the country. The competition involves 32 buffaloes from various provinces and cities, including those hosting traditional buffalo fighting festivals such as Hai Phong, Ha Giang, Yen Bai, and Thuyen Quang. The animals, aged between 8 and 15, each weigh at least 500 kilograms. In each bout, 2 of the animals are led into the arena and let loose to fight until one loses and flees. 16 buffaloes are qualified to fight each other on the final day of the festival in the city's Phuc Tho district. The buffaloes made their appearance amid cheers from the audience. The festival has been officially held since the 18th century to welcome the new spring, honor successful farmers, and promote livestock breeding, especially buffalo, which play a key role in the agriculture-based economy.
Trong lòng của người dân Phúc Thọ, mà kể cả du khách đi tới dự lễ hội chọi trâu này đều cảm thấy rất là phấn chấn, vui vẻ, và nó cũng mang đúng với cái ý nghĩa của là một lễ hội vừa đi hội lại vừa đi vui, kiểu như vừa đi lễ.
All of the competing buffaloes have been trained to fight, and the owner of the winning animal receives a prize of 100 million Vietnamese dong, or around $4,600. This was the second Buffalo Fighting Festival held in Phuoc Tho. The exciting and unique event captivated large numbers of locals and tourists. Raberlin Purba for ASEAN Today.
It is feedback time now when we hear what you have to say about ASEAN. And joining us, as always, with this week's comments is Duridi Sirichanya of the ASEAN Secretariat.
Hi, Dalton.
Beautiful yellow and green attire.
Thank you.
Looking fresh. Okay, Dee, let's get to business. What are people saying?
Dalton, we have several requests and comments this week. Minh posted this on our Facebook page. Why was there no news about the refugees from Burma? It's in the news here in Netherlands. Minh, we update this program every week. You must have seen one before we added that important story. We covered it again in this show. Lamia had this to say on Facebook. Can ASEAN Today show more about youth and the environment in ASEAN member states? Of course we can and do, Lamia. Keep watching for those topics in the future shows. And here's our video email of the week.
Hi, I'm Natasha. Since I'm living in Indonesia as one of the countries in ASEAN, I like to watch ASEAN Today because it can cover the news about the light one and the heavy ones in a very good portion. And it's important to spread up the news about ASEAN to all over the world through ASEAN Today.
Keep watching, Natasha, and thanks for sending your video. If you'd like to send a video or email, send it to ASEANTodayTV@gmail.com. You can also post something on our Facebook page or tweet us at ASEAN Today TV. And that's all for the week, Dalton.
Okay, thank you very much, Dee.
With pleasure.
Dalton and Dee, Singapore has named a global superstar to be its anti-drug ambassador. He's none other than martial arts movie king Jackie Chan. The announcement came at this May 7th launch of a new anti-drug mobile application. Chan's son JC spent 6 months in prison after his arrest in Beijing for drug possession last year. Authorities say by appointing Jackie Chan, young Singaporeans will be inspired to stay off drugs. And that's ASEAN Today for this month. I'm Minh of VTC 10 Netvid in Hanoi.
I'm a Jackie Chan fan. I'm Dalton Tanonaka of the Indonesia channel in Jakarta. Terima kasih, and see you again next time.